birthday, I'd appreciate it. So she said I could FaceTime her. So we're going to FaceTime her. Now, baby, can you see everybody? Everyone says, Happy birthday! Officially a teenager. That means now you can really drive your mom crazy. You have my permission. Hey, love you guys. We'll talk. Huh? She already acts just like you. Yeah, I know she does. You deserve it. We love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Love you. Thank you guys very much. I needed that. Yeah, I forgot all about it. We got busy yesterday and last night about, 10 o'clock. Carolyn says, hey, today was Emma's birthday. Oh! So, but anyways, we'll make up for it. So you guys see, we got a map up here. And no, I'm not schooling anyone on anything. It's just part of the service. So we wanted to tell you guys, okay, so we got 7 continents in this world. It's a pretty big world. And it's pretty small at the same time. With social media, we can reach around the world in seconds. But we have 7 continents: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. And in these 7 continents, we have approximately 2 million cities. Okay, and that includes townships and settlements. 8.1 billion people. It's a lot of people. Over 4,000 religions. Just alone in those 4,000 religions, there's 45,000 Christian denominations. Over 2.4 billion Christians in the world, 15.8 million Jews, 2.5 billion Muslims, 535 million Buddhists, and 1.2 billion Hindus. That's 6,650,000,000 gajillion people right there. It's a lot of people. Little over 1 billion people in this world are atheist or whatever they are. Now let's look at Texas. Everyone's proud to be a Texan. You see where Texas is right here. See, Texas. Here's Cisco. Texas is 31,853,000 people. 67% Christian population. In Cisco, we've got 21 churches, maybe more. That's approximately 2,000 Christians just in Cisco. But out of that big world, there is only one way to get to God. Out of 4,000 religions, there's no other religion can claim one way. Only Christianity claims this. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I was doing some reading, while we were on vacation, and I thought surely there's another religion that says we are the only way, but there's not. They all get there by, good works, good deeds. And in fact, I've got it right here. Let's see. All right. Islam. They claim salvation through submission to Allah. Hindu claim many paths to God, not just one. Buddhist, there is no heaven in a Christian sense. It's nirvana, which is the end of suffering. Judaism is obedience to the Torah, and some of them believe that there's a Messiah coming. In conclusion, the Christian faith is the only one that can prove that there's one way to heaven. So, have you guys ever heard of the Appalachian Trail? Okay, so we know it's a trail that's over in the eastern part of the states. It stretches about 2,200 miles over 14 states, and parts of that trail is just deadly. And a lot of people, they want to hike it. So it brings us to this lady by the name of Gerald Lagasse. If y'all have ever heard of her, she is named Inchworm. The reason why she's named Inchworm is because some of the other people on the trail named her that because she just went at her own pace, slow and easy. But anyways, the Appalachian Trail, like I said, it's the eastern part of the states, 2,200 miles long, covers 14 states, a lot of dangers, wildlife, dense forest, weather issues. It takes most people 5 to 7 months to finish the trail. One person did it in 40 days. So Geraldine and her friend, they started their trip in Harper Ferry, West Virginia on April 23rd, 2013. They planned to hike the trail, hike the 13 miles to the summit there in Maine. It was Geraldine's dream was to conquer the trail's thousands of miles, pushing through the wilderness and reaching the summit. But somewhere along the way, she got lost. At one point, her friend had to leave the trail. Geraldine decided to go on her own. Geraldine was 66 years old when she did this. And sometime into the hike, somewhere around the 22nd of July of 2013, she wandered off the trail. The area she wandered off was a very densely wooded area. She failed to do a few things. One, a lot of times when you want to leave the trail, you leave your backpack on the trail so you can see your backpack, so you can see the bright color through the trees. And also, so people walking that trail notices your backpack and they come looking for you. Another thing she did was she left her GPS signal in a shelter she'd stayed at a few days prior. And she ignored the stay put rule. So when you are lost, you stay put until someone finds you. As she walked and walked, what she believed was miles into the wilderness, she decided to stop and camp for the night. She sent text to her husband, but the text wouldn't go through. No signal. She even wrote in her journal, so just in case she passed away, they could find her notes, what she'd been doing. She was lost for 26 days before she passed away from starvation and from the elements. She is found in October of 2015, just a few hundred yards away from the trail. When rescuers found her and they found her heartbreaking journal, the final entry read, "When you find my body, please call my husband and my daughter and tell them I love them." So what makes this story so tragic is that she wasn't that far from the trail. If she would have turned one direction or the other, she possibly could have found her way back. If she would have just stayed put, left her backpack on the trail, someone could have come and found her. But without a map, without a guide, and a densely wooded area this was, she had no chance. She wasn't well versed in survival skills, they say. So she perished. The story is heartbreaking, but it's also a spiritual photo of our human condition. So So many of us, we wander off the trail. We hit the vast wilderness. We're lost to life. We're lost without direction. We're lost with the tools we need, without the tools we need, and we're lost without the one who can save us. But a lot of these people, they have good intentions. They pray. They believe if they do good that they're going to go to heaven. But they're not on the right path. And we've all been here. I mean, I've been here a few times where I've walked off the path, and by grace of God, He's pulled me back. So when we're not on the right path, it's hard for us to do it ourselves. We can't just save ourselves. We have to have Jesus. Jesus is the GPS. Jesus is our compass. Without knowing the way, our proper destination can't be reached. And this is why Jesus said, I am the way. No one comes to the Father except through me. And to be truthful with you, I wouldn't be standing here today if somebody didn't help me get back on that right track. We've heard our own preacher talk about his youth growing up, things he's done wrong. Y'all have heard me say that I used to drink. In high school, did things that I wasn't proud of. But what's nice to know is we have a compass, and that compass is Jesus Christ. So, but the problem of being lost is, just as Geraldine was physically lost, every human's been spiritually lost. We're born that way. And Isaiah 53:6 says that we are all like sheep and have gone astray. We have turned, every one of us, to his own way. So our sin, we know, separates us from God. And it says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We've tried to find our own way many times, and I still have friends that they're still trying. You can talk to them, but unless they're wanting to listen, they're not going to listen. And you can do self-help, good works, philosophy, but without Christ, all that is worthless. So the mistake of Geraldine was like, she left the trail. She got turned around, and spiritually, it's a perfect picture. We all get turned around. The great thing is, though, as I said, we can get back on that trail. We can get back on the track. There's a singer, two singers actually, it's Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson. They have a song. It's called "Saved" or "Save Me." I listen to it every once. She's a big country girl. I'm not. I like rock and roll better, but I listen to the words, and the first part is "Somebody saved me from myself." And one of the things I got to thinking about was, we can't do that. We can't save ourselves. Carolyn can't save me. Jane can't save me. Bob can't save me. If mankind, Mankind will just throw you to the side. They don't care if you're saved or not. But Jesus Christ, He died for that reason. He died so we wouldn't have to get lost on that trail. He died so we would walk down the center of that trail. It's a beautiful picture. I love the woods, but step off and 5 feet later, you're lost. The other day, I was going to work and doing my usual prayer, and it's kind of my pray time after I get done talking to Carolyn on her way to work, and I asked God, why is believing to be a Christian so easy, in a sense? Why do we have to have Jesus? I mean, if everything's so perfect, why do we have to have Jesus? And I went quiet for a little bit, and right down in here, I heard this little thing hit me, and it said, because you people could not follow 10 simple rules. So I had to send somebody who you could follow. And then I got to thinking about this girl that used to go to church with us, one of Talena's friends, and one day I said, asked her how she's doing, and she's pointed at her cross necklace. She goes, I have this to protect me. Well, I thought she was talking about the necklace. Well, it hit me the other day. She was right. She had Jesus to protect her. Wasn't the necklace she was talking about. She was talking about the symbol, about the one way, about this whole world Jesus died for. So I think I've done a little more research. Found out Jesus has got a rescue mission. So imagine if someone had reached Geraldine. They reached her in time and they said, follow me, I'll get you home. So I got to reading Luke 19:10. This verse said, for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. So Jesus had a rescue mission. He was to rescue everyone he could. You know, there's no other religion will claim it, that they can save the lost. Only Jesus. But then I got to thinking again. Everyone's been called. I had a friend tell me, well, if I've been chosen, why aren't I saved? And I think, well, God chose us automatically, but we have to choose Him. There's no other salvation and no one else. In Acts 4:12, and it was plain when I read it, said there's salvation in no one else. For there's no other name under heaven given among men which we must be saved. There's no other way. We just have to answer the call. But I think of all my life and my friends and family, I've not told about Jesus. And that's my fault. Because there's times I've been embarrassed. Not anymore. I see you guys. I see Jane, her love for Christ. Bob, Twyla, John, all of you. You guys have this special love that growing up, I didn't know what it meant. And even as a young adult and a middle-aged adult, there's days I still really didn't know what that meant. So as I got to thinking about what to talk about, I just remember the story I read a couple of years ago about Geraldine. I was her. I was lost. I've stepped off the trail before. And I just thank God for my friends and family. And we moved here and we found this church. I remember when we first walked in, I didn't know about this church. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm so used to Baptist church, I'm not sure about this. And I'm the one who said it. I wanted to be non-denominational. I was tired of the rules. Because there's only one rule with Christ. You just got to believe. And out of that comes love and friendship and family and hope and peace. And in the last 4 years of my life, I've been finding a different peace every day. And it all leads me right back to the center of that trail. That is my word for the day. Just love one another. Follow Christ. Keep your eyes on the cross. Thank you.